Have you listened to epic rap battles of history, Thomas Edison versus Nikola Tesla, and had questions? Do you curse the Con Edison with every utility? Do you have Reddit? If so, stay tuned, because today we're learning about the War of Currents. More broadly, the rivalry between Thomas Edison and Nikola Tesla. A lot of the focus between these two is on the War of Currents because that's the only part of history they actually came into conflict with each other during. Short story is Edison was using direct current, but it wasn't very good. Tesla invented alternating current, but that would make Edison less money, so he didn't want it to happen. So Tesla went and got this guy George Westinghouse to fund his project. Edison freaked out and electrocuted a stray dog to prove that alternating current was dangerous. Tesla electrocuted himself to prove it wasn't. Ultimately, Westinghouse's alternate current beat out Edison's direct current. That's really the only time the two came into conflict. People like to pit them against each other because they were similar but different, and that's fine, but a lot of times people don't just pit them against each other. No, they use Nikola Tesla as a foil to emphasize how terrible and despotic Edison was, and I can't stand for that. So today, we're unmasking this unmasking of Edison. Let's start simple. Why did Edison reject Tesla's alternating current? This is a small detail, but it's important to me because it would make him less money, obviously. Yes, but why? Well, that's the common misconception. Most people think that it would make the people pay more money to Edison, and that's not true. Edison didn't run the electrical grid, but when the people who did used his design to generate electricity, they had to pay him royalties. And it's a good thing that alternating current did win because it's way more efficient. But the fewer generators that were used, the less royalties they had to pay to Edison. Moving on, what about how Edison stole from Tesla? If you got all your information about their non existent rivalry from epic rap battles of history, you would expect that to feature prominently, considering it's the only thing Tesla can talk about. Did Edison steal from Tesla? At this point, you can probably expect that's a no. Tesla's biggest invention while he worked for Edison was alternating current and AC devices, and as previously stated, Edison not only didn't steal it, but actively suppressed it. Also, when Tesla quit Edison's company, he kept his patents with him, so not stolen. Not only that, but even if they had been kept with Edison, that would have been the industry standard for the time. Okay, what about the $50,000 scam? Edison famously said that he would give 50,000 smackaroonies to whoever could improve his design. Tesla improved his design, but when he attempted to cash out, he was told it was just a joke and that he didn't get American humor. Tesla quit soon after. Alright, I'll admit it, that was kind of a jerk move from Edison. This was the point in my research that I found out that Edison and Tesla's rivalry is possibly the most biased event in history in terms of reporting. It's basically the Israel versus Palestine of capitalism, in which everyone uses it as an analogy to argue their own larger opinion on the subject. But my job right now is not to have an opinion on it, it's to show that Edison versus Tesla is a bad metaphor for it. Back to the $50,000. A lot of this hinges on whether this was actually a joke or not, which I wouldn't immediately discount. It's not impossible to imagine a billionaire who thinks he's funny, like Elon Musk, to make a similar joke expecting people to get it. If it was a joke, why didn't Tesla get it? Well, he was foreign and, more importantly, probably neurodivergent. In my opinion, the most likely series of events is that Edison, thinking he was being funny, made the offer as a joke. Nobody laughed, and he tried to push it out of his mind. Tesla, not being in a position to realize it was a joke, accepted it as a genuine offer. When the truth was unraveled, Tesla quit. Now, technically, we don't know if this is the reason why. Tesla kept a detailed journal, and he doesn't actually say anything about this, but come on, we can put two and two together. And that was the end of it. Tesla and Edison never came into conflict again, and eventually grew to respect each other's contributions to electricity. So, the lesson is the next time you compare Elon Musk to Edison because they're both greedy corporate businessmen under the disguise of brilliant inventors, remember, Elon Musk has a lot in common with Tesla, too. For one thing, they both kickstarted their careers by popularizing a far superior antithesis to the industry norm, but more importantly, because in their later careers they made up vaguely futuristic technologies and sank massive amounts of money into them before realizing they were impossible with today's technology. We should probably talk about that, huh? A lot of people think Tesla was being silenced for bringing about a utopia. No, most of his inventions were just crazy and unfeasible. an earthquake generating machine, electric powered supersonic airship, a tsunami generating machine, this device that goes into your brain and records your thoughts. There's a lot more Elon Musk parallels the deeper you go. Supersonic Mercury death ray, remote controlled navy, a 185-foot Tesla coil that would provide free electricity to all of New York City. Let's do a deep dive on that one. Edison basically invented everything that needed a wire to work, and Tesla was the first guy to start inventing things that didn't need wires. He came up with the ideas for Bluetooth, Wi Fi radios, wireless charging, which is only now becoming a reality. His most famous idea was to use the Earth's electrical current to generate free electricity, which can then be distributed globally by a network of Tesla coils. We actually don't know if this is possible. It could be. But if it's someone else who figures out how to make it work and makes it commercially viable, is it Tesla's invention? Or is Tesla just a philosopher of his time who managed to predict the future by extrapolating? I don't know, but I think we should ask this question instead of jumping to one of the extremes. So, what's the takeaway from all of this? I think it should be that Elon Musk combines the worst parts about Edison and Tesla, and this man is unhinged and needs to be shut down. Okay, while editing this video, I went back and wanted to add a real conclusion. What I'm trying to say is both Thomas Edison and Nikola Tesla were instrumental in developing today's modern electrical world. And yes, Edison is probably overrated, and Tesla is probably underrated. But we don't need to build up one by tearing down the other. No, Edison and Tesla were on the same team. And I would like to think that Edison, Tesla, and Tesla's hot pigeon wife are laughing together in heaven. I would like to think that, but of course, they, like all scientists, are going to hell for heresy. Today's video is sponsored by me, 6 years in the past. Click here if you want to see my younger self try to tackle the same topic with much less nuance.